Good. So I'm gonna set it all up and talk through what we're doing. This is really, I really appreciate you coming on to talk through what's happening in your neighborhood. I'm gonna give a few people a few minutes to come in because we are um, broadcasting this information because I think it's important. I think it's very important for people to realize what's happening in these neighborhoods. For me, tonight we're talking about these HOAs, and it's serious to me because as a real estate professional, as a former lender, former underwriter, I am just in awe of what I'm seeing. I mean, it's just these HOAs seems to be out of control, and something has to be done about it. So, like I said, it's usually when I'm hearing HOAs over the years, 25 years of doing this work, over 25 years, usually it's delinquent fees. Usually it's can we rent it out? Short term, long term, what's the requirements? What are you going to allow? Usually that's what the argument has been over the years. Rental challenges, minor situations. You all have been experiencing I don't even know what to call it. Like I really don't. I don't know what to call it. So I'll bring you on in as a homeowner. You guys, I feel so bad for what I apologize for what you're experiencing as a professional because I know that that's not the norm. Should not be allowed. I mean, they're overreaching, selective enforcement, bylaws, covenants. Nobody's following the rules, discrimination, you name it. So tell us a little bit, Phil, about what's happening in your community so we can have our viewers take a look at it or listen to it.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rodney Scott, and I've been in the community since 2007. And what Wexford is experiencing since this board was established in 2018 is unreal. We done been on the news. People gate cars and got turned off. People can't have cameras at their homes. People get taken to court for cameras. We just, as a community, we just kind of just fed up with everything.
So talk about a little bit about you said you since 2018. How long have you been there? How long have you been in your neighborhood?
Since 2007.
So you've been there since 2007. And from 2000, so you've had quiet and peaceful enjoyment of your home since 2007, right? So
Yes.
I'm just doing the math. 2007, then you run into a situation with you run into a situation with the HOA president. And in that situation, 2007 to 2018, things change. Like what? Like, did you have a change in bylaws? Did you have a change in the rule? Like what took place in 2018?
Change were just all around the rules. Certain people get to do certain things. Like for example, like certain people get eat in the pool area.
Rodney, can you increase your volume? Like Rodney, there's the delay. Can you hear me? Rodney, there's a delay. Can you hear me? Rodney, if you can hear me, do a thumbs up. Sorry, everybody. Technical difficulties. Rodney, will you turn your volume up again? I don't know what happened. I can't hear you. Oh, you're muted. 1 second. Rodney, did you change it to mute? Unmute yourself. See if you can unmute yourself on your phone. Unmute. You're on mute. Take yourself off mute. You take it off. Take it off. You're on mute. You're on mute. So I'm sorry, everybody. I'm going to take them off and then have them come back in to the live. But what's happening is he talked a little bit about what's happening in his neighborhood. He said a little bit about that he was there from 2007 to 2018, and he experienced all these things with other people, like other people moving into the neighborhood. They experienced it. So welcome back. Can you hear us? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. You're on mute. Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now, Keela?
Now I can hear you. You were on mute.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay. So you've seen many people come and go in your neighborhood. You all experienced, like, many people sold. So you were like the mayor of the area. You've been the mayor of the area. So you've seen people since 2018. You've seen the various issues that you all have faced. Talk about the people that left, like some of the reasons why they left this community. Like what were they facing? I know we talked a little bit about selective enforcement. Tell us some of the issues that people were having in the neighborhood. Like, for example, the cameras. Everybody has cameras. Talk about the camera issue.
Yes, I can give a couple examples. I know one senior person that stays in the community. She's a senior, like I said, stay alone, and she put up a camera. And this board sent her a letter saying they need to mediate about her cameras. And her camera is up to protect her home. And this board or this president claiming it's facing his home. And she had to go to mediation. We got another homeowner that got cameras that to protect their home. And they was sent certified letters, stating that they need to remove their camera because that's the area where the president claiming that he clean that area. It's the architecture of the building where he maintained, and that's not true. He's not doing that. He haven't done it. Like for myself, I had to put a claim in at the DBPR just to get my back patio done. Right now, I'm emailing the management company right now that we have currently. They won't respond back to me about getting my roof done. Several other homeowners are paying out of pocket just to get their roof done.
But yet, so those are things that the HOA should be. So it's like so many different pieces to this, right? So those issues, the management company, you mentioned DBPR. I had you all write to DBPR. Many of you did. It's been up and down about what they're going to do and or what they've said so far about DBPR, but that's the DBPR part, right? But there are some of these homeowners that have spent on the upside of $10, $15, $30,000 to defend a barbecue or a picnic, or you had a Pepsi by the pool, or you have cameras outside, or their gate card is cut off. Like the issues that they're going to court for is an exorbitant amount of money. Does it fall within the guidelines of the bylaws? Like, are they operating from the same bylaws that you all have? What's some of those experiences like? It's particularly for so many of you to have been going through this process. They get to court, the judges, I don't know how it slips through that these owners are paying $10,000, $15,000 for things that may or may not have been in the bylaws. Obvious overreaching, obvious selective enforcement. So what have some of those issues been like when they sell? So it's ironic. So when they go to court, they're told they have a fine. Did they follow the bylaws? Like, are they actually, did they mediate before you got there? Because in your particular case, you had a judge that sent it back. You had a judge that said, you guys need to go mediate. And then when you went to mediate, whatever happened, and then you had to come back and you had to go again. Just the hours and the time and the investment these people are making for something as simple as you had a Pepsi, or you had a barbecue, or you had whatever that is. And then they're not following to the letter of the law, the bylaws. Like what, and it's forcing people to sell.
Yes. You're absolutely right, Keila. Some of the homeowners is forced out their home at a low price, because in here in this community, right now the houses should be going for like at least 300,000 and up. These houses selling between 250 and 280. I mean, this community is like not even an eyesore. They didn't come in, even look at it. I mean, stuff not getting done. It's like it's like when you come in this community, it don't feel like home anymore. It feel like a prison.
Well, I know that I sold a property in that community, and that's how I became aware of what happened. I received the request to sell, and I do know that when I received the request to sell, I notified the HOA I need an estoppel. In the initial communication, I mean, out the gate, the initial communication became somewhat hostile because the HOA decided that the request appears to be fraudulent for an estoppel. So an estoppel, for those of you listening, and for you, Rodney, that is a payoff. When I need to know all that this owner owes on this parcel so that it can be sold. I need the estoppel and any questionnaires that you may have and or interview process, any of that. I need it all now because I have an interested buyer. Instead of providing me the documentation, they question the form. Well, I've been a realtor a long time, so I knew immediately I use attorneys for my closings. I use a law firm. So I said to them, well, great. I'll let the law firm know that you have a problem with their estoppel because they ordered it. I didn't. They ordered it. So because it was me, he thought that my process was suspect, might have been fraudulent. So I said that I will have the law firm address your fraudulent concerns. Well, immediately their tone began to change. So I noticed some very concerning behavior, but I didn't say anything. The process was moving forward. I also noticed that in the negotiation, there was an exchange between the owner and the HOA. Well, how are these two communicating? I'm learning there's a close relationship to where they started to do things that I consider torturous interference. So they begin to interfere in this process to say things was wrong that wasn't. I know that they intentionally damaged some items in the home just so that they can get the price to a point of a negotiation that they were satisfied with. So that was just my experience, but I was able to navigate through the process because I'm familiar with what happens. But then I met the neighbor, and then I met you, and then I met to seniors. And then I met a veteran fighting for our country somewhere else that's being harassed, can't rent, can't sell. They're held hostage until they can get what they want. And these owners just give it to me. They give it away. So that interferes with how much your valuation is coming in at, because people are selling at a point of desperation as opposed to just the desire to sell. And that's horrible. And so my concern is I want to talk about this tonight because of how it impacts people. And I was confused about how this type of behavior continue. How does this behavior continue in a judicial system whereby, like, a cursory review of this file and this HOA should show you there's some patterns here. There's some abnormalities here. And I know that a judge is looking at these cases, and what I'm learning is that number 9927, number 9993, number 5577, they're numbers. To me personally, people are numbers. And I don't know that they're always investing the time to read the case and apply the right law or put the right research in, ask the right questions, do the right thing for these people that has paid for these homes. And looking at some of these requests, you want $15,000 and $17,000 because they were at a pool party. How did it get to that? Recently, we saw where a young lady was put in jail because her grass was brown. It's only a matter of time, but we'll start seeing people potentially face the same consequences because they go in and file, I say frivolous, like they go in and do things unbeknownst to the owner. Because even for you all, you can't go get the transparency that you need for your association. Like, you can't even go look at the budget. You can't even go see if they're on task for the maintenance items. You can't see where your dollars are being spent. And that's a different issue. That's not necessarily the judges, because they're there to rule on whatever they filed the suit for. Whatever they're filing these suits for, even if it has the like I said, the barbecue. Does it in fact say that you cannot have a barbecue? And if it did you all follow the process? Does it say to mediate first? Or do you go straight to court? And I'm looking at some of your cases. You guys are going straight to court and they're imposing fines. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Does it say you need to mediate first?
Right. Well, the first step is you need to send a certified letter letting the homeowner know what is your violation. He's not doing it. We're going straight to court.
How does the judge ignore that they didn't follow those steps? But it's not just the judges. The law firms that's being hired to assist these owners, are they not aware that they didn't follow the bylaws to the T? Because these people are being responsible. Like the gentleman that sold, that's a veteran and a first responder. Why did he have to pay $15,000?
Because this president claimed that he didn't get the okay or the release to rent his house out. And this homeowner, and I know for a fact, he's a real good friend of mine. We've been in the community, over 15 years. I mean, he sent several emails to the president, and the president ignored his emails. He wasn't behind in his HOA fees. He didn't have no violation. He just didn't sign the release for him to rent his house.
And did it go through the proper steps? The mediation or the notification, then the mediation, and then to court. Did it follow those steps?
He didn't follow them steps at all.
So again, I don't understand how the law firm that represented them, the judges that represents the case, how they're not looking into this to see that we have a lot of cases in our law from the same place, and it's an exorbitant amount of money that they're making these people pay for something as simple as, hey, you didn't get notice. I mean, they've been there since 2007. They've been there since 2009. Never had any issues. And then all of a sudden, there's this influx of cases from Bucksford Townhomes addressing trivial matters in an HOA. And I personally just believe that in the system, for those of you that can't have an attorney, you don't want to pay $30,000 for legal representation. You don't want to pay $15,000 for legal representation. that you have faith in that a judge would do the right thing when you represent yourself. You have faith in somebody will read and apply what should be applied as they review these cases. I am just sick to my stomach, losing sleep on the different people that have contacted me with HOA issues. And when I look at some of these cases, one person has gone all the way to the Attorney General on discrimination. How did it get ignored locally? Because that same said individual had to pay $17,000 plus to sell. How did the Attorney General get all the way to find them? What they found them in violation of discrimination for multiple reasons, multiple things they did wrong. But yet these judges got it to the point that she needed to pay $17,000. Like, how is there no logic between what's happening here? It's mind-boggling to me. Then the other case where you had it's too much. It's too much. And DeSantis, I never thought I would say I agree with Governor DeSantis, but Governor DeSantis put out a house. It was a bill, HB 1203. And the reason he had to put that bill out is because apparently in Florida, these HOAs are over the top. They are out of control. So HB 1203 is supposed to protect that. It limits the fines and requires more transparency from these organizations. I'm not seeing it in your neighborhood.
Absolutely. It's not seen in our neighborhood. I mean, it's continuing to happen right now. I mean, I talked to a homeowner today. I mean, gate cars are getting turned off. I mean, you got some folks, just experiencing a whole lot of issues going in this community. I mean, like you said earlier, you say selective enforcement, discrimination. Unfortunately, and I'm gonna say it, it's targeting mostly at African American people.
And the sad part about it is, it's if it was being managed appropriately, even DBPR is slacking on the process. They're not. So it's because if somebody was really monitoring what's happening, you would see there's more situations where there's discrimination. You would see there's more situations where they're failing to have transparency. You would see there's more situations, and then just time out. I mean, like, can't they look like, for me, I'm like, can't these judges read what's happening? Like, I don't know what it is to be, I don't have a Juris Doctorate, nor am I a judge. But when I need to get some information, I want to review everything, particularly when you read the file, you see they had a camera. So we're in court today because someone has a camera. Like, to me, that would trigger something about this doesn't make sense. But yet the HOA can be irresponsible in their obligations, which is when the property manager that governs and manages the association should be responsible by DBPR. So it's not just the judges. I get it. There's layers of the people have failed you. And again, back to DeSantis, one of the measures that he put in place was effective July. It mandates that an HOA with more than 100 parcels is required to post the rules, the covenants, the budgets, and all pertinent documentation on its website by July 1st. Does your association have that?
Absolutely no. They do not have that. Myself, I did a record request with the management company and the president. It was an incident in December 7, 2023, where I was in the office with the president and the management representative of that company. I got to a certain folder that I wanted to look at, and he snatched the laptop from me. He got real aggressive with me. It's just
despicable.
Yes, yeah.
It's despicable. So yep. You can hold, and I get it, in the courtroom, I guess that's not the place to say, well, you did it, or you didn't do this, or you didn't do that. But at some point, it is my hope. The reason I'm amplifying the voice regarding these HOAs is because I want these attorneys or these judges to go in and read Wexford Townhomes files. Because when you get your case, you can go in and see what other judges did. You can go in and see what's happening. You can go and see all the information that's needed and how these law firms are able to just beat these homeowners to death over trivial matters. I want these law firms to know that it's unacceptable. To be lazy as a representation of these homeowners is unacceptable. These judges should know that you not doing some type of extensive research, act like it was you. Like none of them would be so careless or so lack the attention to detail when they're reviewing these cases if it were them or somebody they knew or somebody they cared for, because you would find every opportunity or every way to make sure it's fair in the process. And I just don't believe that this process has been fair for you all. I've been doing this a long time, over 25 years in this industry. And when we come up with HOA situations, it's usually fines. It's usually, can we rent it? Trivial matters, but none of it leads to $17,000 fines. And then you guys can't even find out where the money, when you pay the $17,000 for the fines, you don't even know where the money goes. You can't see your budget, your bylaws, your covenant. None of it's on the website, which is an obligation. So I know that they're there for whatever matters, but are you following the law, sir? Are you following your processes? Because perhaps these owners wouldn't be here if this was on your website and referenced as it's supposed to, according to HB 1203. Like, start there. Let's start there. Because how do you know that this owner has seen this information? How do you know that these people have this documentation when you're not posting it? You're not being transparent about it. I just believe that there's some things that could be done. If I could figure that out, and I don't have a Juris Doctorate. If I can figure that out and I know something's wrong, I know these judges can. Next is going to be DBPR. Then it's going to be these owners, how to equip you with what you need in order to at least retain an attorney, what you need to be saying, and then how you fight this battle, because what's happening to you all is despicable. And you've watched it since 2018.
Yes, I have watched it. I have experienced the court system a lot, and I've never been incarcerated, never had to go to court for anything. And I think I went down to the courthouse like numerous times, taking photos down there for other, people eating food at the pool area after he got signs up there. And I just assisted a homeowner with taking some heavy items, and I was in court for almost 2 years. Unfortunately, I did all the legwork, taking the photos, taking them down to court. I didn't have a judge. I mean, I didn't have an attorney. Sorry about that. I didn't have an attorney. But my judge, she took the time and read everything and just seen the thing that was going on with this president, and just I came out with a victory. But
and I don't know yet if I can say the judge's name or not, your judge's name, because your case is over, but I'm not sure. But she did. But I just believe that she did the right thing. But again, there's people in this matter that she knows. Mm-hmm. There's people in this matter that you see what I'm saying? So there's tied to a relationship. So I want the community to get involved so that some of these judges that has relationship with some of these community leaders, we make certain that they're following the process and making certain they're paying attention as if it were them, as if it were their family, as if it were friends that they know, people that they care about. Because I refuse to believe that this is okay. I refuse to believe that this is how the law is applied. And it only affects those of you that you can't tell me that that's the way justice works. I refuse to believe that. So that's why we're here tonight. And I thank you for coming on. We're amplifying the voice of what's happening in these HOAs. It's the hope that the community, we're coming together. You should know. And then the rest of you all should know. I'll be sharing with you. We're going to court watch. We want to see how these judges are working through these files not just these. We want to see how they work overall. We want to see if they're lazy. We want to see if they could have ruled differently. We want to see that because did you know these judges are elected? Many of them are appointed, but they can only be appointed for so long. At some point, they need to be voted in. And if they are not doing what's best in the interest of the people, we don't need them as judges. We don't need them on the bench because I need to see that people have the sense enough to know that we're not going to keep putting judges in here that's disrespectful to people, very desensitive. They're not sensitive. They're not sympathetic. And I know they have to be fair, but you can't tell me that all these owners paying for simple things like you were at a party, you didn't tell us you were renting, barbecue, camera, turned off your gate card, which is illegal. This is unacceptable.
And I want to add one more thing, Keita. Sorry to interrupt you. I mean, we don't even have meetings, like a quarterly meetings, letting us know, why money is getting dispensed. We don't have nothing in this community. We have one meeting in December, and that's just to elect new board members. But I mean, we should at least have meetings. And this president, I mean, he says he don't want to be, arguing with other board members. I mean, he just don't want to do anything when it comes to people that's not from his background. I'm gonna say that. I mean, if they're not from that background, and unfortunately, he's the the Arab, the Muslim background. If you're not from that background, he don't really want to talk to you. Now, if you was an American person and you voted for him, he don't mind talking to you. But as soon as you question him about anything in the community or something you need to be done in your house, he don't want to hear it. He tell a lot of homeowners that we don't have money. You know why our money going?
Legal fees.
Legal fees.
For trivial matters.
That's correct.
Now, in your bylaws, does it say you are supposed to have a certain number of meetings?
No, it doesn't say that. But I mean, just keeping everybody on the up and up about what's going on. I mean, I think communication is the key. I mean, you don't need to have that in no rule. I mean, communication is the key. I mean, who don't want to know how their money is getting dispensed in the community?
Well, I only ask because I think a part of that is they may say, oh, I'm not obligated to have a certain set number of meetings, trying to follow the guidelines to a T. So it's possible that they would say, oh, it's not required. So we're not in violation, Your Honor, because it's not something that was required of me. And I could see that being part of their argument. So what I hope to do, like I said, is to amplify the voice and to get some of these some of this information out, shared to the necessary parties that could do something about it. And then also work through the part with DBPR, work through the part educating you all as owners as far as what you can do to continue in this work. I know that it's frustrating. I know that it can be taxing on you. It's stressful. Some of the people are serving our country and can't do anything with their unit. And I just think that that's unacceptable. But here we are. We're trying to work through it. I believe that this did make an impact, us having these conversations. I do think that as we move forward, we'll see a different mindset as it relates to this Wexford, particularly this Wexford Townhome Association, because we are going to be court watching. We are going to be present. We are going to be sharing. It is going to be community based. Everybody's going to be talking about it, and it perhaps could get us a different outcome. And that's the purpose of this show tonight. And I appreciate you taking your time after you get off work to get on here and share. Hopefully the video turned out okay. We had a few technical difficulties earlier, and I thank you for coming on. I thank you all for watching, for listening. You can replay this. We did have technical difficulties. I'm Keely McCaskill. We're on Fix This Block, and we're talking HOAs tonight because what I'm seeing happen to homeowners, people that have worked very hard to become a homeowner, they are being just traumatized by an HOA that is violating HB 1203, violating everything Governor DeSantis put in place regarding HOAs. But I'm looking at it's a Florida-wide problem, and the governor was set up. And we have to do more to raise their attention. We have to do more to support you all and do more to see if we can't get a different outcome for you. as we address these HOA issues. So thank you again, Rodney, for joining. And we're going to end our talk on HOAs. Thank you.
You're welcome.